Gotcha. What do you like most about student housing that's different from multifamily?
That's a great question. What do I like about student housing is that leases start on day one and they all end at the same time. There's no revolving, oh my God, we have so much exposure in this month and then next month we don't. We know when the leases are starting and when they're ending. A lot of people think also my idea of student housing when I started out, I thought, what happens those 2, 3 months that kids are out of school? Do they pay rent? Is it only 10-month leases, 9-month leases? What's the shtick? 12-month leases. So that's
Mm.
also great. And I love the fact that we have the parents signing on the leases, right? Now, mind you, I'm going to date myself again. I told everybody how old I am, but there was a great movie back when we were kids. It was called Animal House. And for those of you that don't know it, go watch it. It's a great college movie, but it's not, these student housing projects are not like these frat houses or sorority houses where there's keg parties every night and kegs flying out the windows and people hanging drunk and whatnot. The student housing, we get a lot of students
Mm.
that are on academic scholarships, on athletic scholarships. So if they screw up, guess what? We can call the school, we call the coaches, we say, hey, you know what? What's going on with this student and so forth. So, yes, they have parties and get together, but it's not that bad, right? Plus, because they're on scholarships, the parents aren't paying a lot for tuition. So, guess what? They can pay a lot more for housing. And, dude, I got to tell you, when I went to school at Pace University in Manhattan, I spent a year or two in the dorms. It was a 10 by 10 room, 3 to 4 guys, bunk beds. And we had all of our kitchen stuff in an egg crate. And we took it to the kitchen. We cooked, pile everything back into the crate, put it under your bed. And that's how it was. And we shared a kitchen with 40 other people on the floor and other people from other floors. These kids today are so spoiled. They have their own little private room, granite countertops. They have their own private bathroom. They have their own little kitchen with granite countertops and stainless steel appliances and all decked out. I'm like, my God. And if you don't have a rooftop pool, no, I don't got a rooftop pool. You're a student. What do you need a rooftop pool for? You don't have a full gym with 100 machines. It's crazy, but we love it. It's fantastic because student population after COVID, people think that, oh, universities, kids want to study at home. Kids don't want to study at home. They want to go back to
Mm.
school. They want to party with their friends. They want to enjoy that campus lifestyle. And when you go to these big state run universities, I'm in Florida. We've got, dude, I don't even know how many state run universities: University of Miami, Central Florida, University of South Florida, all these different state run schools, and they're huge. Yes, we have an entire generation of spoiled and entitled kids. Exactly, Juliet. But these kids, these universities, their freshman classes are growing. And a lot of times, these universities, they used to mandate freshman and sophomore kids live on campus. But because the freshman class is growing so big, they're telling the sophomores, dude, go live off campus. We had one university that told the freshmen it's first come, first serve. If you don't lock in your dorm room now, you're off campus. So that's what I love about student housing. We were able
Mm.
to push rents about 10% year over year.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Now, you mentioned that you got in 2022, so it's a little bit after the COVID thing. Did you get to benefit from that? Like, were there a lot of shakes out in the student housing during COVID years? And
Yes.
did
Yeah. No, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But one of the properties that we bought, one of my partners, he asset managed that property for the owners during COVID, and they weren't able to fulfill their business model. So we took that property over, we acquired it from them, we pushed rents super high. We're now 100% pre leased for next year, and the property is just really doing phenomenal. And we are 0.05 miles away from the university, literally down the block. You can stand in the parking lot of the property, look down the block, and you can see the school.
wow, okay. So what is it that did he end up selling at a loss or like why couldn't your partner, since he's the one that was managing the asset, do the same thing that you guys did versus when he was managing for that owner?
because they had run out of their CapEx budget during COVID to sustain the property and to make sure that everybody was
Gotcha.
paying and doing all that. And they just wanted out at that point. Sometimes when you
Yeah.
own a property long enough, you get fatigue, right? You get ownership fatigue. We get what's called closing fatigue, right? If you have to get more extensions and extensions for closing, there's that fatigue that the team gets that you're like, you know what, we're done with this property. We did the best that we can. And what was beautiful is that in 2022 and 2023, that's when interest rates were skyrocketing, right? Skyrocket, 7% and so forth. So we assumed the loan at an incredible, it was like below 4% interest rate. So we got good debt. We went in, and because he managed that property, we knew how to capitalize it correctly. We knew what was going to be the issues going in even before we owned it. So that's
Mm,
back of the
that's
scenes,
good.
I
Yeah.
know what the issues were.
Right. That's excellent. All right. Let's talk about team building a little bit because I know you teach a lot about how to play to your strength. You call it your zone of genius, right?
Yes.
Share a bit about your philosophy around that and what does your team look like and what role does each person play?
Sure, great question. So when I started learning multifamily, just like many of us, we go to these events and we hear, okay, they teach us underwriting. They say, now you got to raise capital. Now you got to be a social media expert, right? You got to be SEC compliant. You can't say that, you can do this. Realized quickly, long time ago, that there were skill sets that I had, right? Remember, I'm the guy that didn't know what an Excel spreadsheet was. Right. I had no idea what that was. I'm not the guy who's going to go out and read the PPM word for word and dot every I's and cross every T's. So I knew I needed somebody on my team for that. And that was my partner, Laura. Together, we were together and we went out and we partnered with other people. Okay. After many years, I learned that, you know what? I couldn't rely just on one person, her, to do most of the work that I couldn't do or didn't want to do. So then we went out and we built out another team. We have investor relations, someone who takes care of the investors, someone who is between us and our people. Then we have someone who's the underwriter. So today I have a master underwriter, right? He is the former CPA. He's retired. He spent 48 years as a CPA, CFO for Fortune 500 companies. He was one of the youngest people to take companies public as a CFO. He's raised close to $1
Wow.
billion as a CFO. He can make an Excel spreadsheet sing opera like you wouldn't believe. I gave him
Wow.
my spreadsheet that my team created, and he's taken that and he's blown it out. And Mayuk is sitting there laughing because he knows he's seen these spreadsheets, right? Now, I used to own a restaurant in Israel as well. And while traveling, I sold food and things like that. So there's a saying in the industry, the chef doesn't chop the lettuce. You're the owner. You're not the one underwriting. You're not the one putting the numbers in the spreadsheets and whatnot. So under Doug, we started building out teams of underwriters. And Mayuk is one of the underwriters that we go out and we say, okay, you know what? Go out and underwrite. And the reason why is because it takes anywhere to do really deep dive underwriting, anywhere between 15 to 20 hours per deal if you're going to do it correctly. So for us to do volume, we need people to go out there and to underwrite for us. So we have Mayuk that's underwriting. We have another woman, Tony, who's underwriting for us, and he's overlooking them and making sure that we're doing that correctly. So now Mayuk can go out underwrite, Tony can underwrite, Doug can underwrite and do all that. Doug's wife has been also a CPA for 40 years. She was with the SEC working for compliance. So
Oh, wow.
how awesome is that, guys, to have someone who
That's
used to work at the
amazing.
SEC in the compliance department? When we go out and we build our OMs and whatnot, she goes, oh, no, that's not good. You can't say that. You can't do this. We can't do this. We got to check this. So that's our underwriting. Then I've got a
Wow.
gentleman who's my investor relations, and he's out there, Natalie and Dan Lara. He's one of our underwriters as well. He's one of my coaching clients, and now he's out there doing his deals and underwriting and doing asset management for other people as well. But now I've got a gentleman who is my investor relations / capital raiser, but more of investor relations, meaning that he's taken all of my contacts for all these years, everywhere that I've got lists of contacts, and he's now going out there one by one, re-engaging people, talking to people, doing all that. I've got my social media team. I've got someone that works for me that does LinkedIn, and she's taking my profile, going out there, reaching out to people, to investors, accredited, and bringing them to us to have that communication. Right. I'm out there doing broker relations, networking, moving the business forward, bringing the deals. So I bring in deals,
Mm.
I send them off to Doug and to Mayuk. Hey, let's underwrite this one, finding out the different markets and so forth. So that's what the team looks like now. And of course, we have strategic partners that when we're doing deals, we bring in strategic partners and they co-GP with us, and we build these teams so that we can do really bigger, better deals. My focus now is on 25, 50, and $100 million purchases, right? Because we all know underwriting $100 million deal takes the same amount of time as underwriting a $5 million deal. Raising capital for one is the same thing for raising capital for the other. You just have to have different network, different connections, different people that you can reach out to. So yeah, so that's what the team looks like now.